The coronavirus pandemic has disproportionately affected nursing home residents. The New York Times database estimates while only 7% of the country's COVID cases have been in long-term facilities, the deaths in those facilities make up 40% of U.S. coronavirus fatalities.
I am here to support all of these wonderful people that are now part of my family because we need answers as to what happened, why it happened, and so that it never happens again.
That was Fox News meteorologist Janice Dean speaking at a New York City protest this past weekend, calling on New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to apologize for what protesters say was his role in the New York COVID nursing home deaths. Protesters point to the governor's March 25th mandate from his Department of Health, which required nursing homes to import COVID-19 positive patients. The order was later revoked. Joining us now via Skype is Janice Dean. You might recognize her as the senior meteorologist over at a different network, Fox News Channel, but she has been one of the leading voices sounding the alarm over Governor Cuomo's directive. Janice, welcome. First, can you tell our viewers how your family was directly impacted by this nursing home directive?
My husband lost both of his parents, both his mother and father, at separate elder care facilities. We lost his dad at a nursing home. The plan was to actually have them both together at the assisted living residence where my mother-in-law was staying. My father-in-law needed rehab. He had dementia and he had a lot of health issues. So the plan was to have him in rehab for short term, for a short period of time. And then he would join Dee in the assisted living facility. And then COVID-19 came in play. And, you know, my heart goes out to the folks that have to make those decisions of what to do with their elderly parents, because we wrestled with this for really years. It wasn't until very recently that we decided they needed to have help 24 hours a day, and that his dad needed extra care. So the fact, you know, that we had to wrestle with those decisions for so many months, and then to have COVID come in and take both of their lives is just devastating.
Janice, do we have a sense of how many of our elderly died because of this New York mandate? How great was the impact?
Well, Governor Cuomo is saying that the number is a little over 6,300 deaths in the nursing homes. But part of the reason why I am so vocal is I believe those numbers are double. And the reason I believe that is because New York State is the only state that does not count the number of seniors that died in the hospitals but got COVID in their elder care facilities. An example of that is my mother-in-law. She contracted COVID-19 in her assisted living residence, but died in the hospital, and her number does not count. And although some people, you know, there are lawsuits right now trying to get information from the health department on what those numbers are, but the governor and his health commissioner, Howard Zucker, have yet to release those figures.
You have been speaking and writing and testifying on this subject. What action do you want to see be taken?
I want a full bipartisan investigation into this matter with subpoena power. It's the only way I think we're going to get answers. The governor continues to go on television, radio programs, blame everybody else except the person that signed the directive that was in place for 46 days, bringing COVID positive patients into nursing homes. He was beginning that the virus would spread like fire through dry grass. And that's exactly what happened. If we don't have a bipartisan investigation, I'm afraid that we aren't going to get those answers, because if we have subpoena power, then we can put the governor on notice, as well as his health commissioner and people in the nursing homes. I know that people that own nursing homes, people that run nursing homes, and people that work in nursing homes would love to speak, but they can't because they're afraid of losing their job and they're afraid to go against this governor. But if there is an independent investigation, I think those answers can finally be revealed.
On this show, Janice, we discussed protecting the lives of the vulnerable from womb to tomb. Can you speak about how our elderly are vulnerable amid this pandemic, and what's the best way to protect them?
Well, that's a larger question and something that I think needs to be addressed. One of the reasons why I want answers is so this never happens again. Clearly, there was a problem with the elderly from the very beginning. When we found out about COVID, it happened in the Northwest with a first case in a nursing home, or several cases in a nursing home when this first began. So we have to learn from the mistakes that were made. And certainly here in New York, the virus did spread like wildfire, and COVID positive patients should have never been put into nursing homes. We had other options. We had the Javits Center, we had the Comfort Ship, we had other makeshift hospitals, but for some reason the governor decided to put those COVID patients into nursing homes. He knew in the very beginning that this would be a devastating situation, and they were like sitting ducks.
Janice, what's been Governor Cuomo's response to this, and have you been in communication with his office?
No, no one's tried to reach out. I just see the governor promoting his book. He released a book last week on his leadership. It feels like a victory lap in the middle of a pandemic. What governor should have the time to write a book in the middle of a pandemic, especially this one, where he has lost more residents in New York State than any other state, than any other country in some cases as well. I haven't received word from him. You know, when I do interviews, they will get a response from his office, but I have yet to hear from him. And the one thing that I wish we had from the very beginning from the governor was an apology to say, I'm really sorry for your loss. And that's the first thing that I tell families when I meet them at rallies, and when I meet them in person, when I try to go to Albany and speak for those who have no voice, who no longer have a voice, is I tell them, I'm sorry for your loss. And we have yet to hear that from the governor.
And I should note, we have reached out to Governor Cuomo's office for comment, and as of recording time, have not yet received a response. Janice Dean, be assured of our prayers for your family, and we are sorry for your loss. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for saying that, and thank you for having me.